indeed, Maggie. And just, I'm not going to talk for very long because somebody on the stage hot-footed it from the White House, especially to be here. Our annual business reception. And the first thing to say, really, is a massive thank you to everybody who has turned out this evening. We've got over 1,300 business people here at our reception, the biggest any of the parties has held this year. So, big thanks to all of you who have come, and I know there are a huge number of people in the room who have contributed to all the different policy reviews that we've been doing, from the Mike Wright review, Mike from JLR, to the one that Maggie is going to be unveiling tomorrow. Loads of people have been involved with that, and we're hugely grateful for that too. And I also want to say a big thanks to all our shadow ministers. We've got a whole phalanx of shadow ministers dotted around the room, because their engagement with you has enabled us, I suppose, to make our policy process real. I just wanted to say something very quickly about why we are all here and why our dialogue and engagement with you as businesses is so important. And Maggie mentioned that her father was an accountant. Well, my late father, was a businessman, and that's partly why I am so passionate about business. I have to say he was probably the only member of the Institute of Directors in the 80s who also worshipped Harold Wilson that I can think of. But he would have turned 73 last Wednesday, and his first grandson, my nephew, was born on the Thursday. And so it's been a bit of an emotional week, but what I've been thinking about is just how much our country has actually changed since when my father arrived here in the 1960s seeking to make his fortune. And I think part of our challenge going forward, if you look at the situation of my nephew, if he was to come here when he is of the average age in this room to a Labour Party business reception, there's a good chance he'll probably arrive in a car without a driver. He'll probably arrive in a driverless car. He probably doesn't use a smartphone, he probably uses his watch. And technology is obviously going to massively transform his life. I think part of the challenge for all of us, policymakers and government, is how we manage and shape this process of change so that Britain can pay its way in the world, and so that actually everybody has a stake in what change brings. And that has to be a shared endeavour. We cannot do that unless we do it together with all the businesses in this room. And that is why, I think we're saying up here, Labour means business. That is why we mean business. And one important fact that we will never forget is that Gene Sperling, President Obama's former economic advisor, he made this point at the Inclusive Prosperity Conference we all spoke at a few days ago, which is you can't be pro-jobs unless you are pro the people who create them. And I want to leave you all in no doubt that we